what is up, everybody? Stephen Breach coming to you. Tonight was an awesome night for anybody who likes sports and professional wrestling at the same time. To me, honestly, tonight was one of the nights that reminded me the most of watching the Monday Night Wars back in the day with WCW and Monday Night Raw going head-to-head. I know it wasn't two wrestling programs, but it was a big Game 7, the Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat going up against Monday Night Raw. If I can remember right, Monday Night Raw started out a half hour earlier than the game, so they got a little bit of a kickoff. They started out in a big, big way. Stephanie McMahon was there. Vince McMahon was there, and they were coming out. They were pumping up the match that was going to be that night. Triple H going up against Curtis Axel, and they were basically saying that there's no way in the world, even though he's medically cleared to wrestle, that they're going to let Triple H wrestle that night, and that they don't want their guy going out there and getting hurt. It's just time for him to walk away. All the fans were major booing. I don't really know where they were that night. I was about to say they were in Miami, but they couldn't be in Miami if they're playing basketball there tonight. But basically, Triple H was so over. These fans there really wanted to see it. It was built up all week long that we were going to see this match, and basically it doesn't happen. I thought Triple H was going to come out there and they're going to have a confrontation right there in the middle of the ring, but basically it came down to the Shield coming down, and as the Shield was coming down, they went to fucking commercial, and about that time, flipped on the television. I'm watching Raw on my computer, and I'm watching the game on my TV, so I can go back and forth with my eyes, like, big old freaking circus. I thought it was really cool, because the next match is about to start. Daniel Bryan's coming out, and everybody's doing the big yes chant, and there I am watching the front steps of the Miami Arena where we were at WrestleMania 28 when the yes chants were major over, and the Daniel Bryan explosion is starting again. They're making this guy look like a huge star. Anybody who saw the tail end of SmackDown last week, anybody who saw this show, you can tell Daniel Bryan is a huge player. I can't tell if they're going to keep him as the super face guy and keep him over there, or if he's going to turn heel. It looks like it could go either way, and this match was the biggest thing that shows you that something's coming along the way with Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. There's a lot of talk about the things that have been going on the house shows, and I know a lot of people don't like to talk about the spoilers from the house shows, but I mean, if you go look those up, if you want to look them up, you can see what's been going on for the last week between those two dudes, and I really was thinking that's where they were going tonight. If you get down to the end of this match, it was Daniel Bryan coming through a big comeback. Randy Orton was about to go for an RKO on it was Seth Rollins. He was about to hit Seth Rollins with the RKO. Reigns blocked it, and as he was about to block Orton fell into Daniel Bryan, which leveled Daniel Bryan to get hit by Ambrose and got leveled down for the pin. So that's where I thought the explosion was going to come between Orton and Daniel Bryan, because I think every time you see tag teams and sort of break up, it's because of one guy hitting the other guy on accident, and the other guy takes it as the thing. And they already had the big thing about Daniel Bryan thinking he's the weakest link, and then you have Randy Orton hitting him. So maybe something will come along with the lines of that when it comes down to it next week. Now this. Like I said, at the beginning of this match, or the beginning of the last commercial, the Shield was coming out to interrupt their McMahons. I don't know if anything happened on the app, but as this match was going on, honestly, the first thing came to my mind that I was like, I wish I had that fucking app to see what happened between the Shield and the McMahons. I don't know if they had any sort of thing on the app, that they had some promo or not, but I'll be watching some of the Raw reviews and somebody else will talk about it, or hopefully somebody will just upload it, because I don't know how people are recording the things that are on the app and putting them up on YouTube, but it happened like with the Bret Hart thing last week, so that would be pretty freaking cool if I was able to see that there actually was some stuff to come along with it. Tonight's Raw, I thought, honestly, was pretty good, but this starts a long string of matches that I didn't really care about, but maybe it's because if I wasn't really watching what this was what wrestling was doing. I looked up and I started watching the basketball game, and that kept my interest. Maybe for the 3 hours that passed by, and I didn't really feel like I was out of the loop on anything, or feeling like I was getting bored or falling asleep. But as I said at the beginning, they're trying to build up big shows. They have Stephanie, they have Vince McMahon, they have the Shield kick things off, going up against Randy Orton and Team Hell No. And how do you keep that ball rolling? The fucking Usos, baby. That's right. The Usos come out. They're having a match against the primetime players. As you can tell in my eyes, we're on the basketball game through most of that. The Usos got the win with the big splash into the corner. This match ended, and I didn't even know it ended. I had to see the replay. From there, we went to Alberto Del Rio going up against Biggie Langston. These guys have wrestled, I think, on almost every show in the last week. They wrestled on Main Event, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. They wrestled here again, so like this is like their 4th match in a row, I think, maybe. In this one, they made Biggie Langston look pretty badass. He wasn't going to tap out to the armbar, so Del Rio had to roll the armbar up into a pin, and he was able to get the pin that way, so Langston still lost, but he still looks like a big-ass monster who won't tap out. From there we go to Sheamus against Cody Rhodes. Highlight of this match, honestly, was Damian Sandow doing commentary out there on the table. The match ended, and Sheamus came up and tried to shake Sandow's hand. Sandow didn't want to shake his hand, so he sort of hit his hand away, which tended Sheamus to clock him right in the face. I don't know how that makes him look like a good guy, but that is the character that is Sheamus. From there we went to Fandango against the Great Khali. Fandango is the only guy I've ever seen scared of the Great Khali. I don't know if this is 2006 or not, but Fandango, he bailed out of the match. He ran up the ramp to try to get away. Miz, who I guess is his big opponent now. You guess you danced with the girl one time on Raw, and then that's your, big dude. That feud to me doesn't seem like it's a big deal. If it takes up pay-per-view time, I think a lot of people are going to be mad. But I don't know. He comes out there. They have this mini feud going on. He stops Fandango from running up there. He's greeted by Wade Barrett, who's having a match with The Miz next. Wade Barrett clocks him with this, rolling badass elbow. The bull hammer? That sounds right. The bull hammer elbow. Just bam, lights out. They go to commercial. They came back. Their match is underway. Miz gets the win in there. Bella Twins were up after that. Bella Twins, AJ Lee, Cameron, and Naomi. I might as well have walked out of the room for this match because I have no clue what the fuck was going on. But then we came down to our main event time. The last 45 minutes, maybe you can say, of Monday Night Raw was unmissable. If you missed it, make sure you check it on YouTube. Ryback vs. Daniel Bryan was pay-per-view caliber match. Fucking awesome, spectacular, great stuff from these guys. It's funny because you think with a monster heel going in challenging for the title, you think on Monday Night Raw he would just have a match where he would just dominate somebody. He did have times where he was kicking ass in this match, but Bryan goes on a monster comeback. Even hits this real long 2 count. You really think, wow, he actually beat him. They gotta actually have Bryan beat somebody. They're making him look great, taking out all 3 members of the Shield and doing all sorts of things, but he hasn't really scored a big monster win yet. He has to somehow do that along the way to get, from here to just up here. But this guy is over like a motherfucker. I thought he was over, WrestleMania 28 time when he was a monster when he was just, that sort of like, I don't really know how to describe that character, but right now he is just a straight badass who's just kicking ass on everybody, and he's not taking any, any guff from anybody. But Ryback powerbombs Daniel Bryan through the table. He's going to, he's trying to take him out the way he took out Kofi Kingston after the match. He wanted to, put the exclamation point on him. Did I even say that? He got disqualified. He threw him through a table inside the ring. Then he tried to set up a table outside of the ring. When they're out there, John Cena comes down because he doesn't want, Daniel Bryan to get too, he doesn't want to get his ass kicked like Kofi Kingston did. He doesn't want to get him taken out. So you have the stare down between Ryback and John Cena for the first time of the night. But, Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman, they don't want the shine to come from them, so they immediately come down, which they go to commercial and they come back, and this no DQ match is set up for Curtis Axel against John Cena. It is what it is, man. I mean, you can't put Curtis Axel over anymore. I guess I sort of skipped over the whole storyline. Triple H actually showing up and leaving, saying that, he wasn't going to have the match tonight. He didn't want to kick Vincent's ass. But he was going to come back next week, and he guaranteed that he was going to have the opening match on Monday Night Raw, Curtis Axel against Triple H. From there, Vince McMahon, for some reason, really kissed Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel's ass. I don't know if they're turning this into a whole... I know they want to build a storyline for Triple H for his sort of like real retirement from wrestling. They want to make it look like where the McMahons don't want to wrestle anymore. But I don't know if like Vince is going to turn this into like WrestleMania 16, where it's basically, you know, the McMahons angle, where I guess Vince is going to sort of, I guess you could say, turn heel on Triple H and join up with Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel. Maybe Vince thinks that's one way of him, you know, shaking hands with this duo, that he can really get these guys over, because you know Vince McMahon honestly thinks anything he touches is going to turn to gold, and I honestly do sort of believe that. He has struck out on a few things, but for the most part, you know, anything that he puts his power behind normally does break through and work. If you want to see a great video, Assault and Battery 777 put one up on the future champion Curtis Axel. Great stuff right there. Make sure you check that out. But this match ends in which it was a no DQ match, but Ryback did the run-in. As I said earlier, he set up the table on the outside, wasn't able to use it because they did the run-in from John Cena, but nobody moved the table. So basically, they were fighting on the outside. Ryback came down. Ryback, you know, grabbed John Cena, threw him through the table, bam, which Curtis Axel gets back into the ring. Ryback's yelling at John Cena, "Get up, John! Get up, John!" He can't answer the 10 count, which is actually not for the 10 count from Ryback. It's actually for the 10 count that's in the ring. And Mr. No DQ, oh no, not Mr. No DQ, Mr. Count Out, Curtis Axel gets a count out win and a no disqualification match, which makes no sense at all. I've ever seen anybody even do a count in a no DQ match. I thought that, you know, basically, that's like basically getting counted out in a Falls Count Anywhere match, where you're supposed to be able to pin the guy all over the arena, but, you know, it just, I don't know. I don't know why they made this no DQ match. Probably because they had to throw Cena through the table, have him a reason to get laid out by Ryback and not get the other disqualification where Cena would actually get the win. But I don't know. Honestly, in my book, a bad way to end Monday Night Raw, especially a Raw that was actually pretty good, fun, and enjoyable. So we'll go from here. Main event and SmackDown later this week. Everybody have some fun, and we'll catch you on the outside. Peace out.